Boom. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Paul Thomas with StartUpDPC, and today I have Kendrick Johnson, DO, as a special guest, and we're going to be talking about personal branding and marketing, and in general, just showing you the skills that you could have or that you could develop to get the word out there about your practice, because the number one problem that DPC doctors have in growing their practice is actually getting patients. So how do you get patients? How do you get them familiar with who you are? And we're going to talk about that in today's episode. So thank you so much, Kendrick, for coming on the show. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Paul.
Hey, so I know you're a family physician, correct?
That's right.
And you're in Arizona and you're a DO. Tell people a little bit about what you do on a daily basis, the name of your practice, maybe your mission statement, things like that.
Sure. Well, we are called ARC Family Health, and we started in 2016. I started right out of residency with a partner named Kirby Farnsworth,
Yep.
and he has since split off into his own practice called Simply Direct Health. And
Great.
He's still close by. We collaborate all the time, and we played basketball this morning. It's pretty fun.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
So we've been in this for 3 years now, and we have had a great ride with it. The market here, I think, was really ready for us, and
Right.
And getting patients hasn't been an issue. So we've grown fairly quickly, I think. It's about as fast as we could handle the people coming in, and just really loving doing direct primary care. I love the work that we do.
Great. Do you guys have like a mission statement or a why behind why ARC Family Health?
Yeah. So our mission is to facilitate health and happiness for everybody here in the Phoenix area.
I love that, man. Super simple, very clear. I love it.
We want it to be available for everybody here in the Valley, and to facilitate health and happiness means more than just being available when people are sick, but to really help people be well emotionally and physically.
Awesome. And any reason behind ARC? Any specific reason?
Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism in an
Sure.
ARC.
Of course.
And it's a reminder to me that really what we're trying to do is help people to reach safety. So we are going for saving as many people as we can from the current system, and it's also a reminder to me that it's really God who's in charge of all this.
That's awesome, man. Well, I think having that statement, having that ethos or mission kind of helps draw people to your practice. And when you're clear on your own mission statement, your own vision, your own values, it can be really attractive. So I can see why people are attracted to your practice, because you're really clear on what you guys are all about and why you do what you do. So thanks for sharing that. I think that's a point that a lot of DPC docs miss is, okay, why do we exist? What are we here to do? So I think you guys nailed that. How many patients are you typically getting per month? New enrollments, new signups?
Yeah, on the months that we don't have a waiting list, because we have periodically created a waiting list because we're just kind of we didn't want to dilute what we're giving. So
Sure.
We've averaged somewhere around 20 new patients a month, 20 to 30. We've had a few months of 100, and that was kind of crazy. So so we've tried to scale it back.
Holy crap. So on the month of 100, what happened? Did you have a media event or a newspaper article or?
I wish I really knew. Our two biggest months have been January. So obviously that, that new year has something to do with it.
Right.
But no, we don't have a real close cause and effect for our big months versus our small months. We know it gets a little quieter in the summer.
Right.
I wish I could really tell you exactly what created the 60 months and then we've had some as low as 10. So
right.
So
yeah, I think there's a natural ebb and flow to this direct primary care business where you're going to get busier in the sick months, and maybe around January people are wanting to sign up, and then I think August is a relatively heavy month, back to school time. People want to get in to the school physicals, and then I agree, summertime can be quieter, like Labor Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day, things like that.
Yeah.
All right. So I really wanted to bring you on to talk about that LinkedIn video that you did, which was awesome.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, walk me through that. What was your thought process behind it? It looked really good. It looked really professional. What did you do?
Well, thanks. I honestly didn't put a whole bunch of thought into it beforehand, other than that story is just my story. It's the story I've told 100 times. And
Right.
so as you may have noticed, there wasn't multiple takes. I wasn't piecing that together.
Sure.
It's just the story I've told a lot. And so I did feel recently that I should be more involved in the LinkedIn community, and that's why I set up the camera that day. And I had a couple of different ideas for short stories that I wanted to tell. And that one was just the first one. I had hoped to keep it a little bit shorter, but that was kind of how much time it filled up, was that 7.5 minutes or so.
I think it's a perfect length of time. Yeah.
And then I had, in anticipation of wanting to do some more video stuff, 2 or 3 years ago, I got some lighting equipment, and then just something cheap on Amazon is like $150 for some lights and like a green screen or a black backdrop.
Dude, I love that you have a green screen. That's like a dream for me.
Yeah. It's almost embarrassing because I don't know what I'm doing really with it, but it's pretty simple. And honestly, I really didn't put a whole lot of work into this setup. And actually it was, I think one of the reasons I pulled out the green screen is because I got a notification that what is it, iMovie, or that whatever the standard movie video editing
iMovie
on Apple, that they had just added a green screen feature for the Apple, or for the iOS. And so I just said, "Oh, I'll try it out."
Wait, so you shot that on your iPhone?
I shot that on my iPhone. Yeah.
Okay, and what iPhone generation do you have?
Oh, it's like whatever's the oldest one. It's like a 6 or something. So,
dude, okay, so this is like part of the reason why I'm doing these shows, like doing these episodes and doing this blog, is because what you created looked super professional. It looked awesome. I think you're up over 120 interactions on LinkedIn, tons of comments, just tons of positivity around you and what you're doing. And really, green screen's not that expensive. You can use your existing iPhone. Okay, you spend $150 on lighting, but for the impact that video has, it's well worth it. And if you can do 5 videos like that, one a month or one every other week, the payoff is just compounded over time. So I guess let's talk about the impact. What was the impact of you making that video?
So I was actually kind of surprised by how much feedback I got from it, just because, I've posted a few things on Facebook or LinkedIn in the past that I thought that had fairly good content, but didn't get near as much of a result. And I did get a lot of feedback from it, and my my followers on LinkedIn jumped from something like 1,100 to 1,500 or 1,600 within a couple of weeks. So a lot of people added me, and I made some good connections too, like with Dave Chase, who I'd been following for a long time, but he didn't know who I was.
Sure.
And now he and I have had a couple of interactions since then, and so several other people that I'm really happy to be in touch with have reached out to me because of it. So
yeah, it's awesome.
That was pretty good impact. As far as business coming in my door, I think we're a few steps away from that.
Right.
And that's hopefully the way that will lead to more business for us is by being known as as a leader in both direct primary care and health benefit design here in Phoenix.
Right.
And,
yeah, and that's kind of like claiming that. I talk about this sometimes, thought leadership position, where when people think of healthcare and health benefits in Phoenix, they think of Kendrick, and for the doctors watching this at home, when they think of family medicine in your town and direct primary care, you want them to think about you. So if you can claim that mental space in somebody's brain, that's what this is all about. And by consistently creating this sort of content, you can hold down that area in somebody's brain and be that person that they think about. So I guess I wanted to highlight a couple things about your LinkedIn profile, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
Cool. I'm going to share my screen for a second here, and we're going to go over to Google Chrome. Boom. Okay, sweet. So can you see this one?
I can, yeah.
All right, awesome. So just for the folks watching at home and for you, I mean, great profile picture, smiling. You look super professional, and it's updated. You look like it's not like 10 years old. The other thing that you did really well is having ARC Family Health. So you went in here and created, like in the background, a business account for ARC, correct? Yeah.
That's right.
So I guess I'll click through to this one, and I'll just show everybody at home that, having a logo here is super important because it makes it look official. It makes it look legitimate. And a lot of times when you're building your personal brand and your professional brand, a big part of that is just having that legitimacy. So having this logo here helps with that. And then I just wanted to show a couple of Google search results. So having, 5-star reviews on health grades, and then claiming this space in your Google for Business account, you sitting with a patient, listening to them. It's an amazing photo. And also I can tell you've been working on your Google reviews, which definitely helps with the search engine optimization and helping new patients find your practice. So
yeah, and if I could maybe comment on my LinkedIn profile, because I've gotten some feedback on it recently, and I actually haven't gone in and applied it yet. But we're having somebody design a top bar for us. Just a background there.
the banner image.
Yeah. And that's something that I think, I've noticed as I'm looking through more professional LinkedIn profiles that you ought to have something there and maybe something that helps tell your story a little bit. And
totally. And I mean, simply you could use this photo, and it would edit it for you. You might not get the whole photo. It'd just be like a little bit longer and thinner, but that could easily be dropped right in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it was also recommended that I look at the camera in the photo, which, I think that picture looks all right, but I think it's a reasonable recommendation that they gave me. I don't know.
No, I think there's like pros and cons. I mean, you could always spice it up and have the next one have you looking at the camera, but it's not always necessary. I think what you're going for here is professionalism. You're wearing a collared shirt. it looks like you might have a stethoscope on. One thing you could do is change your name to include DO, just to include your professional title.
Yeah.
That might be helpful. I made that switch when I went into my direct care practice, just to differentiate myself from all the other Paul Thomases out there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Oh, and then I had a couple different taglines, and the one that I had before just said physician entrepreneur, and it was recommended to me that I change it to something to help tell the story right off the bat. So something about direct primary care, and maybe getting employers' attention by addressing them right in that tagline. So that was some of the feedback I got recently, and there's still some more things I've got a list of things to update on here.
Yeah, I think overall it looks really good. And I think having something like this is better than the default, which is usually nothing. I'm curious as to, I think I just have something like direct primary care doctor, or doctor with Plum Health DPC.
Yeah.
So I want to get people to come back to my webpage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And this is like, for us, I did the same thing. I created a Plum Health DPC LinkedIn page just to have that logo. So it looks, good against Wayne State or Beaumont or any of the others that I'm involved with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. So any closing thoughts? I'm going to stop this share screen for the moment. Any closing thoughts on, building a personal brand or marketing or anything about direct primary care that you'd want to tell, the next doctor who's doing this and having some trouble, or, thinking about starting this, et cetera?
Yeah. Well, you've probably shared this a few times, but talking about why you're doing it is really important to me. And honestly, I don't necessarily think that most of direct primary care is talking about really great reasons for doing direct primary care. I mean, I think it's great that we want to stick it to the man as a group, but that's really not a virtue or a value to me. I really want to do something that makes an impact on people's lives, and for me, I believe that direct primary care is just the start. It's just the framework, and then with that framework, we need to figure out what we're going to do with that extra resources, that extra time that we now have to take care of patients. So I love direct primary care, but I do think it's just a payment model. And now we got to figure out what's next. What are we going to do with this new alignment of incentives, instead of just squandering that time on ourselves? We need to figure out how to add value with that extra time. Otherwise, I don't think there will be a great future for direct primary care. Oh man,
that's awesome. I think you hit the nail on the head. Just sticking to the man is not a virtue. We got to make this way more valuable for people. So I think we'll leave it there. I really want to say thank you for your time, and thanks for chatting with me about direct primary care and the personal branding side of things. I think this is all really important. To have a successful practice, you need to kind of work these elements into your package or into your tool set. So I appreciate it so much.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate your help, Paul.
All right, you're welcome, man. See you on the other side here.
Sounds good.